All right, family, come on in the chat. Come on in the chat. Come on in the chat. Is there any sound? Let me know about the sound. Let me know about the sound, family. Family, how's the sound? Got 2 people in the chat. Let me know about the sound. How's the sound? Can you hear me? How's the sound, family? Can you hear me? It's good? Okay. All right. We good. We in the house. Street consciousness, peace, and black power. Welcome to another edition of Babatv. Every time fire. In front of the new vegan cafe. And look at the brother that we have here. Our brother Ben X on Georgia Avenue, historic Georgia Avenue, in front of the new vegan cafe. Brother Ben, talk to the people. First talk about this beautiful black restaurant and how was the food, because I know you got something to eat. Talk about the food.
Man, the food was awesome. As y'all can see, we are here at the new vegan cafe, and now I've come up with a solution for everybody who wants to become vegan. My solution is, if you gotta have the taste for the meat since you've been eating it all your life, just come to the new vegan cafe right here in Washington, D.C. You get your wings, you get your burgers, and you get all that stuff that y'all like to taste like meat, but it's not really meat. So if you want a wing off of it, or if you just don't want to eat real meat because you know what they're doing with the food, with the clone meat, things of that nature, I suggest coming here, get what you like to eat, get the taste that you want, but then you still eating healthy. That's my solution.
Brother say he follow you.
Me?
Yeah.
Brother 19 Keys, talk about the restaurant and the food.
Man, it's one of them experiences. You know, I'm one of them people, I don't know about y'all, but when I get some really good food, it make me dance. And it ain't gotta be no music, but I'm just going to the tune and the good frequency of the food. And when I tasted this new vegan, I almost turned to James Brown. It was so good, man. They get down in there, and the texture of the food and the quality of it is amazing. Like my brother said though, that's the solution. You know, for one, you get you some quality food and it eases your lifestyle into a better one. So coming here where the presence is black on, the atmosphere is great, everybody's smiling, they nice. I tasted the garlic kale. Man, it's amazing. Look, I've always been taught that, you know, you eat to live, you don't live to eat. In this place, you might be able to do both. Tap in, man. I appreciate you, because you can't have higher thoughts until you start eating food that has electrical energy to produce those higher thoughts. So you won't even be able to tap into different states of consciousness and exist on different frequencies until you become an electrified body. And that's God talk.
One more question. What did you think about Union Temple Baptist Church?
The church itself, we had the event the day before. We did the Shifters event, and it was amazing. First, when you walk in a church, there's a mural of all the different leaders. You know, you got from Marcus Messiah Garvey to the Honorable Elijah Muhammad to Minister Farrakhan to Carter G. Woodson to Harriet Tubman. I mean, just the fact that a church and its magnitude, like calling it a church, I think diminishes the idea of what it really is. When we say temple, I believe that's better, because it's a place of deifying and worshiping to where a person can cultivate those activities needed for you to get into a higher state without it being solidified in white patriarchal intellectual rule. And I think that's the greatest thing about that place, is you can see a future based upon what our people need to see. Those images burning in the mind, even if the preacher is preaching something to where he's using the personification of Jesus to get his point to the people, but in the background is other individuals who had different thoughts and ideologies. So it represents a unification, and that's really the purpose of it all. The purpose is that big mural that they have behind them, is having all of the leaders for the solution of the people. And so I believe that every temple around the world needs to have that same sort of mural, to where it shows you that this is about unity. It's not about my message or his message or his message. It's about how we can come together for our people. And if that's not your ultimate goal, then your translation then your translation of your teacher is wrong. I'm not going to say your teachings are wrong. Your translation of them is wrong, and the intent behind it is all wrong, because it's supposed to be about some solidarity. So I enjoyed the weekend of the event. The second event, I think it went entirely too long. I just wanted to hear Farrakhan. That's all I came for. So I'm not used to going to churches to where there's a lot of stuff going on. I want to just get straight to the main event. And you know, I came to hear the heavyweight champion of consciousness and godhood on this planet Earth, and that's the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan.
Yes,
so we tapped in.
And what did you think about Union Temple Baptist Church, brother?
I really like the church, as Brother 19 Keys described to y'all, the mural that was up there. We had an event the day before that kind of set the stage. So I appreciate them for allowing us to come into the city, because there's some churches that won't even allow that type of consciousness or that type of message to even be in their building. It's kind of answering or showing what the Honorable Elijah Muhammad taught us back in the day when he says every good Muslim is a Christian, vice versa, because you had pastors, when they was asked to pray, come up before the minister spoke and said, even if I have to be a Muslim for a day to stand with this man Farrakhan, I'm willing to do it. But there's so many people that would say, I'm going to stay a Christian, or because I'm not a Muslim, I can't stand with him. So what we're doing is, the Honorable Elijah Muhammad said every good Muslim is a Christian. Then the minister broke it down and said, your mother said 3 + 4 = 7. Mine may have said 6 + 1 = 7. We may have two different equations, but we get into the same solution, or we get into the same answer. So to me, that is a prime example of what unity really is. Yes, we may differ on certain things, but we're not going to focus on that. We're going to focus on what we can come to common grounds on. And so when I think about that, man, it was very beautiful. I kind of have the same sentiments, or I do have the same sentiments as my brother. I believe it was way too long, and the minister, I think, should have came up a lot earlier, because that's what the people came to see. But it was a very beautiful thing, though. I'm not saying anything to take away from them. Dick Gregory's daughter, she did I'm talking about a hell of a job. She did very good with the song that she did, dedicated to her father. She talked about things that her mother had to go through. So I really appreciate her bringing up what the women have to go through as well, because she brought up how we always talk about the men and how powerful the men are. And then she talked about how it's always the women that's behind them. And the minister even touched on it a little bit when he said that the home is the woman's base, not her place, meaning she can go be great. This ain't no slave making doctrine or anything like that. That's just her base, because you know, once you have children, our children and our future, or our future is always most important. So to me, man, it was a great event. I was always glad to see the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan and to show the unity, because as my brother Nuri Muhammad always says, there's a difference between unity and uniform. Uniform is everybody goes to that one church, everybody Christian, or everybody going to the mosque, everybody Muslim, or everybody got a bow tie on. Unity, everybody gonna bring their one unit in. We're gonna bring your one belief in, your one ideology in, and we're gonna bring it all together like some soup, and they got different ingredients, so we can have a good outcome.
On the last note, Saturday's event with the Paradigm Shifters, let our people know what channel, where they will be able to find that.
You will be able to get that on my brother Babatv channel. You're going to get about a little snippet, but you can also get it in full at www.blackondemand.tv. You have to put in the www on there. I don't know why yet, but go to www.blackondemand.tv. That is our own platform. So instead of going to Netflix being rejected, instead of going to any other platform being rejected, we decided we're going to put our own content up, so we can't be censored, so we can say what we want, how we want, and we in full control. So go to www.blackondemand.tv.
All right, brother.
Yes, sir.